Belinda and HarperAudio Australia present this unabridged recording of A Smart Girl's Guide to Second Chances, written by Steph Vizard and read by Alexis van Maanen. To Mum, Dad and Teddy. Prologue. "Love is dangerous," I said as I attempted to hit a red ball with a wooden mallet through a small white hoop. That's the key takeaway from this morning's lecture. Was that the professor's thesis? Alex asked as he watched my ball fly off in the wrong direction. He grinned wolfishly. "You're going to have to argue your case." With a few long strides, Alex walked over to his blue ball and carefully lined up his mallet. I could practically see the cogs in his brain whirring as he did some complex calculations involving angles and pressure. I waited to make my first argument. I knew that when he was hyper-focused, the world around him no longer existed. He swung the mallet deftly, his face still creased in concentration, and the ball passed cleanly through the hoop. Over the past 2 weeks, Alex and I had developed a routine. We'd roll out of whichever single bed we'd spent the night in, walk to the Oxford examination schools, and play a game called Lecture Lottery. We'd pick an interesting-sounding lecture and sneak in. Then in the afternoon, we'd choose an activity from our salad days list and tick it off while we spent hours sparring about what we'd learnt that morning. I knew that voluntarily attending random lectures would be most people's idea of hell, but it was the most fun I'd ever had in my life. That morning, we'd crashed a neuroscience lecture, one where a world-class professor with a blunt bob, high-pitched voice and fierce intellect had explained what happened to the brain when a person fell in love. I'd found it revelatory. Now, we were losing our croquet virginity on a perfectly manicured lawn in Alex's college. "Challenge accepted," I said. "Firstly, love is dangerous because when you fall in love, your brain shuts down your critical thinking synapses, which means that you can't see anything negative about the person you've fallen for." Alex, who was kneeling beside his ball as he worked out his next shot, looked up with interest. His eyes, which were the same aquamarine as an English summer sky, met mine. The gentle sun had already turned his skin the same golden colour as the ancient buildings that rose up around us. My stomach did a flip. How was it fair that this Australian guy had the brain of Good Will Hunting as well as the body of a Hemsworth? I took another swing at my ball and it flew into the garden bed. I glanced around to make sure that none of the college gardeners had seen me assault their navy and yellow pansies, which matched the college's coat of arms. "You're getting better," Alex said, and almost looked like he meant it. "I'm really not," I replied with a smile as I kicked the ball back onto the grass with my bare foot. God, another sport I'm terrible at. I once got a PE report at school that said, "Rebecca is good at putting equipment away." Alex burst out laughing. "I feel like you're building a more persuasive case for croquet is dangerous. But I'll play along," he said. I could tell that his mind was searching through the information it had recently and effortlessly absorbed. Love is dangerous because it's like a drug. The brain has the same chemical reaction to falling in love as it does to taking heroin or gambling. Amazing comparison. 10 points to Ravenclaw, I said, and Alex laughed again. "Can I use your mallet? Maybe I have a dodgy one." Our fingers brushed as he offered me the wooden handle. I felt a shot of something move through my body, something that I wanted to feel again and again, something addictive. "My turn," I said quickly. I hit my ball, which moved forwards by about a centimetre, as I worked up my next point in this verbal essay we were writing together. So, when you fall in love, your brain makes your body feel like you're under attack. Your palms get sweaty and your heart races. I trailed off as Alex walked across the lawn towards me. He gently rested his fingers on the top of my head. I felt every nerve in my body stand on end. "It's because your brain sends a signal to..." He moved his fingers down the side of my cheek and then placed them just...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?